with another video. Of course, I told you I'll be checking up on the UEFA club competitions, the men's side, with the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Now, last time we checked, we were checking the first qualifying round and previewing the second qualifying round. Now, the second qualifying round, it's been 2 weeks. It's now over. We're going to do a little check-in with the teams, who's progressed, who's been knocked out in their competition, and then check out the third qualifying round. So, with the second qualifying round, obviously, two matches in the league path. We'll check them out first. Fenerbahce v Gunek Zabza. Now, obviously, I can't really comment what's happened in these matches. I'm just going to give you my opinion on what surprised me and what doesn't surprise me. You get me? I mean, I would have thought Fenerbahce would have at least scored a few more goals. I don't know. I mean, they've made new signings, Murici, Ake, and Greenwood. Gunek Zabza, obviously, they're not actually the champions of Poland like Poznan are. Poland have got 2 spots in the Champions League, so they finished second last year. And to be fair, not only getting knocked out by Fenerbahce, big Turkish side, 2-1, it's not a bad result. With Hearts, a bit surprising. I knew Stam Graz were going to knock out Hearts, no doubt. Hearts lost Shanklin, Devlin, and their manager, also Rangers. What does surprise me is it's 6-0. Seems like they didn't really put up a fight. And due to that result, they actually are going to verse each other. That they were drawn against each other. So Fenerbahce will be playing Sturm Graz. Obviously, the other matches on Olympiacos, the NEC, which is a very tough match to decide. Union Saint-Gilloise v Fodo Glimt, another tough match to decide. And then Sparta Prague v Lyon, which probably an easier match to decide. I think Lyon will progress. But we'll check. We'll recheck them quick after I check the Champions Path. Now, obviously, I don't want to go too detailed, but Kauno Žalgiris, Lithuanian side, up through. They will be versing Dinamo Zagreb, who also went through, knocking out Thun, but only in extra time. This surprised me. I thought KI would get through. KPS, I thought they would put up a better fight, but Sabah, obviously, they are the Azerbaijan champions. That means something big because Karabag are normally the champions. So Sabah obviously knocked out KPS. Sabah will be versing AGF, Danish side, who mental. First leg at home, they lose 4-1. They lose 4-1 in the first leg. Second leg, they come back, they go to Poland, win 4-1, go to penalties, and win on penalties. The Danish champions. That's not a light thing to say. Danish champions, yes. They finished up at Michelin, Copenhagen, Brøndby, those teams. So they will be versing each other, AGF. Or Aarhus Gymnastic Foreign versus Sabah. Ararat Armenia, slightly surprising. I can see it happening. I just didn't expect. I still expected Shamrock to go through, and Ararat Armenia would be versing Celje. Yes, Slovenian side Celje won 4-1 on penalties against Albanian side Ignatia. Any other? I mean, Kairat, I think Ammonia had 2 red cards in the second leg. And Kairat went on to win on penalties. Levski Sofia, obviously that's a bit, and again, champions of Bulgaria, normally it's Ludogorets. Typically you see other, it should be like Copenhagen or Legia Warsaw or Ludogorets or Karabag, but they're not here. Red Star Belgrade destroyed Lan. So, and most of the other results not really that surprising. Maybe Viking Reykjavik, with Hapoel Beersheva not playing in Israel, their neutral ground. I would have expected Viking Reykjavik to put up a better fight. With the third qualifying round, I'll do a little prediction. Dinamo Zagreb v Kauno Žalgiris. I'm gonna say Dinamo Zagreb. Mialbi versus Slovan Bratislava. I think Slovan Bratislava, obviously they're managed by Yaya Toure, which is, mental. Levski Sofia v Kairat. I'll give it a Levski Sofia, why not? AGF v Sabah, AGF. Ararat Armenia v Celje, Hapoel Beersheva v Red Star Belgrade, Red Star Belgrade. The league path is tough. Olympiacos v NEC. Obviously, these are not the champions of their respective league. These are the teams that finished in a spot good enough to be in the Champions League qualifiers. I'm gonna give it to NEC, but Olympiacos has a lot more experience. But I think NEC have a very talented team. The way they play football is interesting as well, very interesting. Union Saint-Gilloise v Bodo Glimt. I'm going to back the Belgium side, Union Saint-Gilloise. Even though Bodo Glimt made it to round 16, should have made it to the quarters, I think they'll actually get knocked out. Fenerbahce v Sturmgras. I'm going to back Fenerbahce. And then Spartak v Lyon. Lyon. Not much else to say. Europa League. Now, any shocks here? Well, Anderlecht, no shock there. Karabakh. Obviously, they didn't win their league. They had to play in the Europa League qualifiers, and they're knocked out. They're going to the Conference League. They got knocked out on penalties by CSK Sofia, Bulgarian side. Hradec Kralov knocked out Tromsø. Twente, they dropped down to the Conference League. To be fair though, they got Ferencváros, tough team. Again, they're not the Hungarian champions. I'm correct in saying that, right? Yeah, they actually qualified for winning the cup. Besiktas though, surprise. Besiktas v Midtjylland. Midtjylland, who made it to the round of 16, they finished top 8 in the league phase of the Europa League last year. Didn't really put up a fight against Besiktas, who are better this season. I remember last year, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked because he failed to qualify for a league phase. They got knocked down the playoffs in the Conference League. Paphos, no surprise here. They were in the Champions League phase last year. Sheriff Tiraspol, I mean, they change their squad every season. They're one of those. I mean, I think that's with most teams in Europe. But Maccabi Tel Aviv, they're a good team. St. Gallen, obviously, they won the first leg 2-1. And then Pavlidis went on to score four of the 5 goals to beat St. Gallen. And then, no surprise here, PAOK knocked out Dynamo Kiev. So, in the third qualifying round, obviously we have the losers of the second qualifying round from the Champions League. My predictions, I mean, Iberia, Ammonia. Sorry, I didn't realize Ammonia Cypriot champions. University Craiova. I'm going to back Shamrock Rovers and knocked out Ignatia. Lech Poznan and Thun. I think, yeah, these two Nordic teams, you're going to drop down to the Conference League. With the main part, some interesting draws. Hradec Kralov v Besiktas. I'm going to back Besiktas because a bit more confidence after they knocked out Midtjylland. Jagiellona Białystok versus Rangers. You would have to back Rangers. PAOK v Anderlecht. I can't tell you. If I'm a team, that's a good game. I cannot tell you who goes through. Salzburg v Paphos. I would back Salzburg. Just a little bit. Not. It'll be very close. Benfica v Hearts. They lost to Sturmgras 6-0, and then they're probably going to drop down to the Conference League. I think they're going to be the few teams that play in the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League, but not be in the league phase. Unless they make it to the Conference League phase, obviously. Maccabi Tel Aviv v CSK Sofia. I think it'll be Maccabi Tel Aviv, and then Ferencváros v the Polish side, who put up a good fight against Fenerbahce. I think Ferencváros will go through, but you never know. And in the Conference League, I try not to take too long. Now, obviously, Champions Path, teams that got eliminated in the first qualifying round of the Champions League. Two teams got buys. I was a bit confused when I saw the third qualifying round. I was like, how are these teams here? Like a San Marino team, but I realized they have a buy. Wow. Rigo 8-4, 7-3, 6, some high scoring games. Meanwhile, TNS knocked out. Any surprises? I mean, Drita, that's expected. Riga, yep. Győr, they're the Hungarian champions, not Ferencváros. Yeah, no real surprise. Now, in the main path, the immediate first surprise is Başakşehir here. I think the manager is Nuri Sahin. I might be wrong about that. But they've been eliminated by Finnish side. Inter Turku, not Inter, but yeah, shock. I mean, it's not a shock, but it's still a shock. Come on now. FCSB Bucharest. They lost to Latvian side, Auda. mind you, Man United played against Man United 2 seasons ago in the Europa League phase. They made it to the Europa League knockouts, only getting knocked out by Real Sociedad. But they've been eliminated in the Conference League qualifiers through a Latvian side. Mind blowing. Any other shockers? I mean, obviously some expected results like Lugano, HJK, Rakow. Nordsjælland lost the first leg against Swedish side, but then they won the second leg 6-0. Some tight games, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, and then Paul and Limassol, who the last time they actually were part of that one group. Who remembers? In the 2017-2018 Europa League group stage, Everton, Lyon, and Atalanta, plus Apollo and Limassol. That was a group of death that season in the Europa League. So yeah, they're a nice team to see return. And I generally haven't seen them play in European competitions for a while, so it's good to see. Some really good games, like so many goals. Shikenya knocked out Bravo, Brana through, Shelbourne through, Any Shocks, Noah, the Armenian side through just about 7-5, a 7-2 result. My god. Any Shocks, Motherville through, no surprise. Hibs, they lost the first 2-0, but they recovered. Panathinaikos, mind you, they just recently signed Iñaki Peña, the Spanish keeper from Barca, and they signed De Vrij on a free. Yet they were kind of close to getting knocked out. Ajax comfortably through. Copenhagen, close one, Ghent, close one against debutants LNZ Cherkasy. This is their first ever time in Europe, and they nearly eliminated experienced side Ghent. Ludogorets, this is a massive one. Bulgarian, they're not even Bulgarian champions, but biggest Bulgarian side within the last decade, and they got knocked out by Hapoel Tel Aviv. Vaduz are through to the next round. Partizan, 3 penalty shootout. CSK 9048 went through. Any NSI from Faroe Islands are through. Now, in the third qualifying round, obviously Tre Fiori and Interclub de Scaldes got buys. But if I had to predict to go who would be going through to the playoffs, Drita, Bork, Banja Flora, and Gior. With the main, now obviously Vaduz, they would have probably been expected to play Besiktas here. Now, this is a good opportunity. Interturku, obviously this is not the last round. There's still one more, but Interturku could be getting to the playoffs, or Vaduz. I would expect Hadrick Split to go through. Partizan, Panathinaikos, Ajax have Shelbourne that they should be going through. Now, this is interesting. Ayuda versus Dinamo City. Ayuda, obviously, were the team that knocked out Romanian team FCSB Bucharest. So maybe you would expect them to maybe go through because they defeated a big team, but you never know. Noah v Sion, probably expect Sion. Braga versus Dinamo Minsk. Braga, Nordsjælland. I would St. Gallen. Probably, Austria Vienna, but probably Hapoel Tel Aviv. I can't really. This one's a tough one because they're both not. Tromso. Oh my god, both teams were eliminated from the Europa League qualifiers. Dinamo Kiev and Karabakh. They now meet. Polybag Karabakh, Bran, Lugano, Rakow. That's a tough one. Can't predict match 18. Hibs, Ghent, but Gothenburg could eliminate Ghent. That's a tough one actually. Rapid Vienna, Michelin, Copenhagen, Jablonek, probably Rijeka, and then Twente. And obviously after this round, you would then see the big five. Now, Atalanta, Freiburg, and Monaco and Brighton are all seeded, but Getafe aren't. That means, to put it in simple terms, Getafe can play Atalanta, Freiburg, Ajax, Braga, Monaco, Brighton. So, it's not a guarantee, no offense, right? But you'll probably say Brighton, Monaco, Freiburg, Atalanta should be in the league phase. Getafe, you never know on their draw. You expect them to make it, but you never know. They might not get a favorable draw and get eliminated, which would harm Spain. Obviously, you kind of want all your teams that are in Europe to qualify for the league phase because obviously that extra Champions League spot. Obviously, last year it was Real Betis and Liverpool who finished fifth in their respective leagues and got the extra Champions League spot. Because of that, obviously the season before it was Germany and Italy that got the extra Champions League spots, right? Right? Wait, was it? No, it was England. It was England and Germany. No, so last year it was Spain and England. The year before it was England and Germany. Because I'm pretty sure Dortmund finished fifth that season. And obviously, who finished fifth? Was it Newcastle or Chelsea that finished fifth? And then obviously, the season before, it was Germany and Italy. I remember Italy because Bologna finished fifth. And some team finished, yeah. I think that was, so France have never got the extra Champions League spot. Spain have only gone on it once. England have gone on it twice. Italy have only gone on it once. And Germany have gone on it twice. So it is valuable because you got teams that would have been in the Europa League. They've obviously then made it to the Champions League. So yeah, Spain are going to have to hope Getafe can pull through and get to the league phase. That's my review. Some little reviews on certain fixtures that surprised me or ones that didn't, and making predictions for the playoffs. Now, obviously, this video will come out tomorrow on the 2nd or 3rd of August. And I'll be seeing you with an update on the qualifiers once the third qualifying round ends and once we see the playoff rounds, which by the time obviously we'll see who will be versing each other in the playoffs because in 2 days' time we'll be seeing the playoff draw. So see you then.